In Iraq right now, the Sunni militant group ISIS is fighting against the Shiite-run government for control of most of the country. But those aren't the only groups in Iraq. There's a whole other group of people known as the Kurds, who have their own security force and their own autonomous region and government. So who are the Kurds, and what do we know about them? Let's start by looking at a map of Iraq. The Kurds live in this area, which makes them seem like a small group, but if you pull back, you see that the Kurdish people actually live across a large continuous block of the Middle East that spreads across Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. It's commonly known as Kurdistan. There are anywhere from 15 to 20 million Kurds living in this area with their own language and culture, and about 4 million of those are living in Iraq. Kurds by religion are Sunni Muslims, but they existed prior to Islam and they were resistant to the Arab military expansion that took place in the 6th century. In order to create the first Sunni caliph all those years ago, Arab forces had to defeat many different Kurdish princes and feudal groups. So as a result, Kurds don't self-identify as Arabs the way that most Sunnis and Shias do. Again, this all started in the 6th century, and to say the least, modern history has not been kind to the Kurds. In 1920, the Ottoman Empire fell, which resulted in the Treaty of Sèvres. This formed the nations of Iraq, Syria, and Kuwait, and it was supposed to leave the option open for a Kurdish nation, but that didn't happen, largely because Turkey, Iran, Syria, and Iraq refused to recognize Kurdish independence. Ever since then, they've been a marginalized group stuck in those nations, and they've faced a lot of persecution and oppression. After the Iran-Iraq War, where the Kurds sided with Iran, Saddam Hussein destroyed entire Kurdish villages and used chemical weapons against the Kurdish people. Now, after all those years of struggle, the Kurds finally have military and administrative control over parts of Iraq and Syria. But the fighting in those countries isn't over yet, and stabilization, depending on who wins, may not be a good thing for Kurdish independence. Plus, the Kurds aren't just one united group looking to create an enormous Kurdish nation. They have numerous sub-factions and rifts. When you're talking about the Kurds in Iraq, you're talking about the Kurdistan Regional Government and their Peshmerga security forces. These are the people currently running the only autonomous region under Kurdish control. They're keeping the Kurds safe, and they have a record of assisting the US with their war efforts in the area. The Peshmerga was the group that captured Saddam Hussein in 2003, and they also captured Osama bin Laden's messenger in 2004, which led to the eventual US capture of Osama bin Laden. If you'd like to know more about the conflict in Iraq, click now to see our video on who the Sunnis and Shia are and why they don't like each other. Well, first of all, not all Sunnis and Shiites are at war with each other. There are tons of places where they coexist peacefully, like the United Arab Emirates, or Dearborn, Michigan, for example. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, and remember, we release 5 new videos a week, so subscribing is the easiest way to see them.